Sadly, in the automobile industry, there are times when you pay for work that isn't done. And in this episode, we cover a Mini One diesel, which the customer was charged a stonking 2,500 euros to change the clutch. And we had to break the bad news to him that it hadn't been done. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to find the little warning signs and how to see if something has been done or not. Stay tuned, keep watching. This one's going to be an interesting one. What are we up to today? Clutches. Apparently, this has just had a brand new clutch fitted in it. But this clutch is slipping like crazy, so either they have not replaced the clutch or they've put the friction plate in the wrong way round. Which I don't think it's the latter. I think that it's not been replaced. And unfortunately here in the Balearics there is a pretty terrible reputation amongst the mechanics here for not doing what they say they do, or for doing what they say they do but taking 8, 9, 10 months. So let's get this thing apart, let's find out what's gone wrong, and let's give the customer the good news. Right, I've stopped for a minute because being a mechanic is also kind of like your intuition tells you when things aren't quite right. And when somebody says to me that something's been off and you look, there are little warning signs that can tell you whether something has been disturbed or not. And I'm going to show you how to tell whether somebody has done something they said they've done or how they haven't. And this car here is an absolute perfect example. I'm going to do a couple of little episodes on this because I think this is helpful. This will be helpful to a lot of you out there, and it also will show you what is involved on a car like this, a typical car like this, to change the clutch. Back on earlier cars from the 80s and 90s, clutches are fairly simple to do. There was not a lot in the way, there was not a lot of ancillaries and eco gadgets bolted to the engine, so it was quite a simple job to do. But cars have got more complicated, and the space is a lot tighter to work in. You can see here the gearbox is there, and there is the chassis leg there. There is zero room. So what we've got to do on this is get everything out of the way so we can access all the bolts around the gearbox. Now, I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you why I am saying that this clutch has not been changed, and I'm going to show you the reasons why. Now, bear in mind, this car we've had for a week. 3 days before we collected it, another garage had changed the clutch, and I've seen the bill, we've got the bill in there. It says brand new clutch, doesn't specify the make or type. But it wasn't done by a mini garage, it was done by an independent garage. But I'm going to show you how you can tell whether something has been touched or not. Right, on the bench here, I'm going to show you something, and I want to explain to you about what's called witness marks. Some of you might know what witness marks are, some of you won't. Us old school mechanics know what witness marks are, and we've been in the trade long enough to know when someone's touched something when they haven't. So, let's take this brand new bolt here, yeah? You can see there, it's brand new, it's never been touched. It's never seen a tool or anything on it. So what we're going to do is going to come over to the vise here, and in this vise, I have a bolt which is done up pretty nice and tight. This is an M16. Right, now, if I try and undo this nut or do it up, I try and do this one-handed, that's quite tight there. You can see immediately that on the nut, on these bits here, oh, come on camera, is witness marks from where the tool or the flanks inside the spanner has been on the nut and it's undo it. And if you've got dirt on a bolt, it's such a giveaway. So, a bolt that's been touched recently, like this one which has been touched today, can you see on the flank of the bolt there, you see this marks here? And how the metal is smooth where it's been compressed by the tool? That's how you can tell if a bolt has been off recently. It's not 100% accurate, but it's 98% accurate. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to this Mini here. Oh, don't look at the light. Now, can you see those gearbox bolts there? They have not been touched. They are in fresh, that oil there has not been touched. Those bolts have not been touched. Because if they had, there wouldn't be that grease on there. And also around the gearbox itself, there would be separation marks from the bell housing. That gearbox has not been off, it's not moved. I'm very, very confident in that. I am incredibly confident that gearbox has not been off. But what we're going to do is we are going to crack on with this, and I'll do little videos of me doing it, not complete, because it's just, some of you might not want to see the whole of it, but do you know what? I'll see how it goes. Let's see how we go with the editing, because I am new to this. But in the comments below, put down whether you think this clutch has been changed or not. What do you think? Let's have a vote on this. Do you think the clutch has been changed, or do you think it's not? And let's go back underneath again so you can see, get a full look around there. What else? Have a nice close look at the crankcase. Normally if the gearbox has been moved, you'll see finger marks around the bell housing where you touch it. I would say probably at most, oh yeah, they haven't even taken there's no spanner marks on here as well, because you need to drop the arms down to get the shafts out. There is not even any evidence on the track rod ends either that they've been dropped down or touched. What about on this side? No, again, for a clutch that has apparently been off 3 weeks ago, you'd expect that thread on that track rod in there to be wiped clean. The nut would have cleaned off the thread as it come off to expose a cleaner thread on there. So I'm going with no, it hasn't been. Put in the comments down what you think below. You think it has, or do you think it hasn't? Right, I've not done a mini clutch before. This is going to be a first one for me. So I am guessing with this that I'm going to have to remove the front ends and all of this to be able to pull the gearbox out this way. Otherwise I'm going to have to remove the whole subframe, which is going to mean dropping the engine down and everything, which I don't think we need to do. So I'm going to get on with removing the front end of this so we can take the gearbox out for the front, because I think that's the most logical way to do it. Might even do a bit of research, have a little look in the book. Listen, even us experienced mechanics sometimes had to refer to the manual, the destruction manual. So, let's get on with it, shall we?
Day to be done. Can't wait, feel the end is closer. You can't keep me holding on, 'cause I'm drawn by a feeling. The night is calling me. I'm ready to start living where music flows free. Take me or leave me, I am what I will be. Live young and so free, make this reality. Break through and feel it, just like the first kiss. And now you want this, life is bliss, completely.
If anyone's interested, you see me using this. This was my little Amazon bargain. It was 140 euros. I've had it 3 months. I use it every day. It gets absolutely battered. And it's a great little tool. It's really handy. And I love this little tool. I'm actually going to buy another one just in case I break this one, because being used every day in a professional trade, I don't think it was designed for that, but I had to say, it's a Polito one. Have a look on Amazon there. I think they're about 139 euros, something like that at the moment, but great little tool, and it comes with 2 batteries as well, and they charge really quick. There we go, little tip, because I know some people go, I wonder what tool you use. See, the problem is here in Spain, we don't have Snap-on, we don't have Bluepoint. So what they have here is Mansman, King Tony, stuff that I've never heard of. So sometimes you just got to take a plunge and go for it. Come with me. Where should we put you? How about there? Is that good? Can you see? Good. And by the way, Yorkshire Tea, if you're watching, I'm still waiting for my loose leaf tea. Honestly, I've got a sponsorship place. Sponsor me, Yorkshire Tea, because I do drink a lot of your tea. Especially on hard days, like today. You notice as well, I'm losing weight. I'm not so much of the wide, I don't have to turn the camera around that way now because I'm losing a lot of weight. Stress is a great thing, it's good for losing weight.
Wait till this day is over. Can't wait for this day to be done. Can't wait, feel the end is closer. You can't keep me holding on, 'cause I'm drawn by feeling.
So now what we're left with is the radiator pack on the front. So we're going to have to remove this, pull the radiator out, and then we can get to the subframe, the front part of the subframe, and the crash bars here. So we can access the bolts in the gearbox and pull the gearbox out from the front, because if you have a look here, the problem is going to be, unless I remove the whole subframe, the gearbox is going to rest on here. But if I remove the front, I can unbolt the gearbox, pull it out hopefully, drop it down enough and pull it out enough hopefully to be able to move it forward and pull it out forwards. I'm fairly confident that that is the way that it's got to be done. But I am going to go, when I finish here, and just do a little bit of research and make sure that that is the most efficient way of doing it. See, I've had the gearbox off. Wow, there's a lot of oil in there. There's a lot of oil in that gearbox. Why is there so much oil in there? This clutch is not new. You can see there in the fingers that this has been on there for a long, long time. And there is just no way that that is a new clutch. No way. So, to the garage that charged the customer 2,500, I think maybe we send a video of this to the customer and then he can decide what he wants to do. But ideally what should have happened is he should have backed it to the garage, because it's covered under a 12-month warranty. But he didn't. I think he just had enough of the garage and everything else. But what have we got here? Oh my God, look at that clutch release bearing. That clutch release bearing is absolutely shagged. Right, before I touch this, I want to show the client. So on my first inspection, I thought that with all this oil around here that we was actually losing oil out of the gearbox crankshaft, the crankshaft oil seal, which is this big seal here. This is what's called a dual mass flywheel. Dual mass because you have the outer ring and then you have an inner ring. The idea is that this is sprung mounted with like oil filled and rubber filled dampers, and this takes or reduces some of the knock you get from diesel engines. It gives a smoother drive, and it also reduces wear on the gearbox by absorbing some of the shock that diesel engines give through the crankshaft. So yeah, we need a new dual mass flywheel. I am tempted to do a crankshaft oil seal because I can see traces of oil in there, and why it's out, I suppose we could do it. But it's a right old state in there, isn't it? Look at all that. Now, it's going to be a little while before we get the parts for this, so, but for the moment we shall leave off on here, and she'll join us back when we start getting the clutch back on here and get it all back together again. For the meantime, thank you very much. Join us when we do the next little episode on the mini clutch, because I will keep you updated on so we're going to do it. It's going to be done this weekend. It's got to be done this weekend because we need this car. So watch for the next episode. Thank you very much. If you like what I'm doing, please hit the like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you want to sponsor me, then you can send me an email to keefyseescars@gmail.com. And Yorkshire Tea, if you want to sponsor me, I only accept payment in Yorkshire Gold or the standard red Yorkshire tea, but preferably loose leaf tea. Thank you very much, guys. Take care of yourself. Speak to you soon.